Take it to the next level with Globe's fiber, LTE advanced, and 5G mobile connection. Now you have the power to reinvent your world. Globe.
Welcome to the second season of the University Alliance Cup featuring Wild Rift. The top 12 collegiate Wild Rift teams in the Philippines are all here competing to raise the campus torch, a prize pool of over 100,000 pesos, the right to call themselves the best in the country, and scholarships. I am Dash, and with me here is Infinity, and will be your shoutcasters for today's matches.
Yeah, I'm excited, Dash. We know MCL, Warlocks, UST have played very well in the past. 2 points right now for Warlocks, 3 points for Tigers, and they're gonna match it up on who is gonna be the better team for this series. Who's gonna be the better drafter? Who's gonna have the better adaptability in terms of the matchup? Because that's the thing. Who has the better adaptability rather? Who has the better reflexes can have one step ahead against the enemy team.
Yeah, and this would be good because a while ago, yesterday, UST was actually able to actually get out from their slump from last week. And now they have the momentum to actually go through and try to win against MCL. These teams are really, Tiger and MCL are both old organizations who battled out for several stages in several esports titles for several years. And I've known so much from all of the players from MCL and UST, especially MCL Stellar. He is one of the players from League PC event, so I think MCL would be really good here. So they know the game that much, so maybe if they drop and they play, at least it translates to the Wild Rift playstyle.
Definitely, having the prior knowledge on League of Legends itself gives you the foundation, gives you the knowledge, the wisdom on how it actually works, and you can adapt into League of Legends Wild Rift pretty much easily. And it's a different game, but the fundamentals are there. So I'm really expecting a lot of things. And I've just stated Stellar. I saw him play out in the Rift. He's phenomenal having a player like that.
Yeah, he knows a lot of champions. He has a lot of champions in his champion pool, and that is crucial, especially for a mid laner where you need to actually be rotating a lot, doing a lot of things. But before that, everybody, we would like to thank our amazing sponsors and partners for UAC 2021, powered by Globe Telecom, our official telco sponsor, ASUS ROG Phone 5, our presenting sponsor, Logitech G, our gear partner, Riot Games, our publishing partner, Twitch Students, our platform partner. And so we're back to what we're talking about a while ago, Infinity. What do you want to see? Because I want to see some unorthodox picks from MCL and UST, and I haven't seen a lot of those, especially right now in UAC. Everybody's playing those meta champions that we're actually really expecting. But sometimes I want to see some unorthodox champions. For example, a while ago, when Naiso and I were casting, there's a Mal fight being played, and that is really interesting. It adds something. It adds something different to the game.
I think you've read my mind, Dash.
Yeah.
Because I want to see the same thing. The untraditional picks wherein it's not currently in the meta, because that's the thing. If you pick an untraditional pick, there's unexplored counter pick onto it. So I think that's going to be phenomenal. I think that's going to be great. Something that we could expect so far is we've seen an Annie a while ago go into mid lane.
Right.
So I want to see the same thing happen. I want to see the different pick coming right through for the series for Warlocks or Tigers, regardless of whoever team that may be. I want to see it happen.
Yeah, and also I've seen Stellar playing that Fizz also since before, and that is something I want to see here. Because Stellar, he has a lot of mid laners in his champion pool, and that is what I'm expecting here. Because usually those meta champions can be countered by those unorthodox picks that we're not usually seeing in UAC. So that's what I want to see here. They need to actually change it up if they want to actually have a chance to get out of this playoffs.
Definitely. Having the security of those points, having more points coming right through for your respective group stages is gonna be something very important, very very valuable. So winning every series as much as possible should be the goal of any of these teams right now in the University Alliance Cup. So I think Warlocks, Tigers is gonna bring up their best for this series, especially right now. They're pretty much on par, only having 1 point advantage for Tigers.
And yes, there you go. First ban Gragas, very usual. That's a usual ban right here on UAC. Gragas can be flexed onto a lot of roles. That's why it's really crucial when you draft, getting that out of the way, because it gives no information if you first pick or second pick a Gragas. And there you go. There's a Diana being over here again, Infinity.
Definitely. I mean, the Gragas is very flexible, and as you've
Hmm.
stated, it can go anywhere.
Yep.
Diana as well. I think Diana is a very, very strong mid lane that could set up a play, deal massive amounts of damage, and basically confuse the enemy team. So banning it out, very, very important. But here onto the red side selection for Tele Tigers, banning out the Camille. Very important
Okay.
take note
Yeah.
because
Yeah. It's.
Warlock's first side.
Mhm. Yeah, it's also a flex pick din naman, no? Kaya kailangan talaga nila ibantong si Camille dito. Because, Camille, when he racks up, I mean, when she racks up, I mean, jungle, top lane, kahit saan mo siya ilagay, she's really, really good. And when she does it, it is really, really good in the late game because of the true damage from her first skill and the crucial Hextech ultimatums.
Definitely, and that hextech ultimatum could be a setup play, right?
Mhm.
Typically, what happens is you have a Camille on your team, hextech
Yeah.
ultimatum in, the rest will follow through, and that
Yeah.
is the strength of a Camille. And on top of all that, you know what, 4-1 setup is readily available for your team as well if you have a Camille, and that 4-1 setup is very flexible in whatever phase that may be, because a Camille went into the late game. When you're at a disadvantage, go for the split push, 4-1
Yep.
setup, and that will give you sort of the advantage on pushing and forcing out the enemy team to go for the 4-1 setup as well, because that will force out the defense coming from the
Yeah.
enemy team. So
And
I think Camille being banned out, very, very understandable.
yeah, yeah. And she basically plays like a Fiora right here because you need to allocate some resources to actually fight against a Camille that is split pushing. Because most likely you can't 1v1 a Camille that fed that is split pushing. So right now we have the bans right here, everybody. But I'm expecting some picks that are really open here. And Akali is open. And also, what I want to see here, Infinity, is that
Mhm.
Galio, I always love to see a Galio in the ref because when I see a Galio, it is a flex pick, yes, and it enables a lot of champions to actually go in, especially those meta champions. Most of the meta champions goes in. They all have engaged tools on their arsenal, and having the hero's entrance for the safety there, that's a really crucial champion to have.
Definitely. I think Galio is very flexible. I mean, right now, in the current meta, because of the recent nerfs onto him, he's not ready so viable already into the
Mm-hmm.
Baron lane. Typically what happens is it's not going into the mid lane no longer. But
Yep.
I think Galio's just that strong, especially when going to a support role. You can deal massive amounts of damage and at the same time react actively in terms of the map. You can go hero's entrance, go into the mid lane, support your mid lane if ever a gank happens. And I think that
Ooh.
ability
Mm-hmm.
of just going for the map control is
Yep.
very, very big. And Galio could be
There
one
you
of the
go.
priority.
Yeah, there you go. That is the second pick right there. I mean, first pick for the side of Tele Tigers right here, Infinity. They went in for that Garen pick, but this, a Garen and also the Galio pick here. Garen in the top lane, really, really good, especially against those bruiser type of champions. He is really good. They can actually dominate the top lane and maybe snowball that into an advantage into the mid, into the late game. And also, from what I'm seeing, Akali being picked up here, it could be a flex pick, Infinity. But I've seen Stellar. He is always tweeting about this Akali, and I know that it could be a pretty, pretty great Stellar pick here.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, and just having these types of heroes, you know what, Seraphine is not typically what happens
Mm-hmm.
in the current meta, but I think Seraphine is just strong when it comes to the utility aspect of this matchup. So I think Warlocks is planning to go for more of the safe play and more of the utility play against Stella Tigers. But you know what, we're gonna
Mm-hmm.
have sort of the late game type composition for Tele
Ooh.
Tigers, having
Yep.
to lock in onto Tristana, which requires the late game phase to actually go for the power spike. But Tristana, very, very great when you have the snowball type of setup where in the early game, you have a lot of kills. Mid game, you can just jump right through, go for the pentakill, Tristana.
Oh, so Warlocks is going for that team composition that has a lot of CC. Having Varus, having that chain of corruption would be very crucial, especially paired up with the Seraphine. So the Wombo combo, they need a lot of macro and also communication in order for them to pull this off. It is good. I like to see this, but they need to actually pull it off in the right time and the right place. So that is really crucial, having this good ultimates on their side and having this. I think Galio would go into the mid lane, right? Infinity. So this would
Mm-hmm.
probably be, I think I'm losing a lot. I think wala masyadong damage yung side ng Tele Tigers on this side. I think they're all waiting for Tristana to go up because Galio, even if you go AP, that's not much damage.
Yeah, definitely. I see that happening.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Tigers right now, based on their draft, is really going for the late game type of composition because
Yeah.
when you're fighting against the Akali, Wukong, Seraphine, level 5, that's going to be a heck of a game.
Yep.
Wherein you can't just dive in into the matchup because you're just going to get obliterated. So I think Tigers having this type of composition needs to play a bit late to wait for their power spike to happen. And Warlocks having this knowledge that Tigers doesn't really have the capability to go big when it comes to their game,
Yep.
punish Tigers in that phase of the game.
Yeah, they have all the chances that they have to actually punish the members of Tele Tigers here, and that is gonna be crucial because if they set the face of the game here, look at this Infinity. Both of these junglers are going to the bottom side of the map, so most likely we're gonna see them battling out on the Scutter. I just wish that these players would know when to rotate because that would be crucial. When you set the face for your jungler, that basically helps you as a whole as a team when you when it comes to the facing.
Definitely. I think having, the leash gives you the capability to clear fastly, especially when you're considering Vi and Wukong in the jungle, not really that fast when in comparison to other jungles, which has AoE damage potential to clear out jungle camps. So having to leash those champions and having to leash those junglers for both Warlocks and Tigers helps a little bit, not that much, not that majority in terms of helping them throughout the jungle camps, but overall, I think that's going to be big when it comes to trying and pushing them harder and get that early spike up and running.
Yeah, this is the problem right here for the side of MCL Warlocks. This, when it comes to allocating resources Infinity, but bot lane though, there's a bit of a fight right here. Nekomami needs to be using that heal in order for him to actually get out of that fight. Good play coming in from Tele Tigers using that Tristana power spike, but there you go. Lazuli is now super low in HP. Shield of the Rand would be able to stop them from their tracks, and that is good flash from Lazuli to be able to get out from there.
Although, Warlocks has actually went in and sacrificed the Rift Scuttler to the cost of actually just trying to get a kill onto Lazuli with a flash available. And yes, that forced out the flash, that forced out the barrier, but pretty much I think spell advantage for information is something that you really don't want, because I think Lazuli would get those spells already up and running in 4-minute mark, wherein that's gonna be more of the core team fight that's gonna happen, right? That's the first objective, that's the first dragon, and considering the Ocean Drake is gonna be the first objective in the map, I think that's something that will be one of the priorities right now, giving you Omnivamp. So pretty much, I think Tigers got that advantage there, but they lost it, right? Because Warlocks already got the trade-off once again into the bottom Rift Cutter side, wherein they could have gotten both.
Yeah, they could have gotten both if they rotated and tried to actually get it. So that is good for MCL Warlocks, trying to be more aggressive here for trying to take those resources for the jungle. And back to my point a while ago, Infinity, this is the type of setup for MCL Warlocks where they need to allocate resources for their laners, because these laners need to have those camps for them to rack up. Those top, I mean, on the side of UST Tele Tigers, you don't need to allocate much resources to Galio and to Garen because they're basically self-sufficient. But in the side of Warlocks, Akali needs a bit of resources rack up on him for him to be able to actually deal the damage that he needs. This is going to be hard for Warlocks. More pressure and less chance because he needs to actually be more proactive on helping Stellar in the mid lane.
Definitely having that proactive type of setup is definitely gonna be very important, especially for Stellar, as you stated, needs an item to actually go for the power spike. And depending what happens is, every single champion needs those items to really deal massive amounts of damage. So I think it's really traditional right now, having the safe play for both of these teams right now. Though I like how Stellar is just going aggressive into the mid lane, punishing Galio in terms of the damage aspect of that matchup. And I think that's reflective on what we talked about a while ago when it comes to the draft, wherein Galio doesn't really have any much more damage right now. Going into the mid lane, he needs a lot of items. He needs the Roa, he needs the potential Infinity Orb, the Rabadon stat cap, the Void Staff even, if he wants to go for more of the penetration against those type of setup from Warlocks, especially against Blue, which is very tanking capable of a champion. So now, with first objective now available, they're now potentially going for the crash down onto this Dragon Spin.
Yeah, crash down on the Dragon Smith. Most likely, we will see these players dancing around this dragon, and whoever gets the better position, better target acquisition for this next objective, it would have the advantage here. But for what I'm seeing, Poro used that solar flare to clear the wave a while ago. So this is crucial. They're waiting for them to actually have that solar flare for that crucial fight. And now that it's up, now they start the dragon, and most likely we would see our next fight here with the members of MCL Warlock slowly pushing through. But there you go, Chaos goes in with the Assault and Banner right there, flashing out there, and the Encore would be able to hit 2 members right there. That's good from the members right there, but the Hero's Entrance would not be able to get anyone, and that is good because right there, MCL Stellar would be getting 2 kills off his own in the back line, and this is good because that is a double kill, and MCL Warlocks would be having the advantage on taking this Ocean Drake.
I think Stellar needs or deserves the MVP in that specific engagement. He was spectacular in driving into the back lines, and I think that's going to be very important, especially having Shoddy into Tristana, really not big when it comes to the early power spike. Punishing that champion, going to be very important. And he prioritized going in for the jungle as well. Punishing that is also spectacular. So pretty much, I think Stellar really did a great job, and right now, 3-1 in favor of Warlocks.
Okay, so we'll see another fight right here in the Dragon Spit, and this would be good because the members right there going in with the Zenith Blade would be able to get the damage for her. Now super low in HP, the Solar Bear would be able to hit on one key target, and this is good for the members of Tigers, and they're backing away because right now Lazuli needs to flash away from there because that is a very dangerous spot, but Tigers goes away with the Ocean Drake.
They're happy to get it open. I think Tigers doesn't really want to fight against Warlocks, considering that they have the late power spike, and now, considering they've gotten the Ocean Drake, let's go for the retreat. We don't need to fight Warlocks. In terms of gold, we're par even against them. So I think I respect how Tigers is playing right now, respecting Warlocks as well in terms of the facing, in terms of the power spike. So I love what UST is doing against MCL, and similarly, I think MCL is doing the same thing, where in terms of pressure against Tigers right now will be the name of the game. And I think we talked about a while ago how the draft will happen, right? You know what? Warlocks has the early power spike. They need pressure against Tigers, considering the power spike of their draft composition. So I think I love what I'm seeing right now.
Yeah, MCL now working on to their win conditions right here, trying to get the pressure on the members of Tigers. And it's really hard to beat Tigers right now because when you go in, you actually have a lot of CC to look forward to because you have the Encore, you have the Cyclone from Wukong. That's really hard, especially right now that Tigers almost all of their champions are melee. They need to go face to face with these players, and that is gonna be hard for them with this much disruption. But there goes Assault and Battery to the Heroes, and that would be able to hit on 2 members, and this is gonna be okay for the members right here, right there going in, and that is a spinning Garen. Now he is the target. The perfect execution wouldn't be able to get execute, and that is Kaiser with the Dimash Injustice would be able to get the kill, and Chaos backing away with the flash of safety, and that is, I'm seeing Lazuli would be trying to back away, and Wukong also. So that is a 1-for-1 for MCL and UST.
Although I think Tigers has gotten a good kill onto Warlocks, considering they've put in down a Kali in that engagement in trade for Kaiser, which is the Baron lane. So that was a mid-Baron trade-off. So Tigers got the better end of that trade there. So I think that's pretty good coming in from UST right now. And you talked about how Warlocks has a lot of CCs. And I think Tigers needs to answer that on diving onto those champions. I mean, they have Garen, they have Lazuli. If Garen comes in, Lazuli can come through with the Hero's Entrance as well. And having that synergy when it comes to the wombo combo is going to be very important.
Yeah, it's very crucial for them to actually go in here, especially on the key targets. A lot of damage comes through from Stellar right now, so Stellar should be a key target. And what I love about the Akali pick every time Infinity is that the Twilight Shroud gives a lot of space, but look at this top lane though. Solar Flare would be able to get the hit on him, and Blue can back away really fast because he is a cinch, and nobody could actually just get a cinch on the top lane really fast because that is really tanky.
I think Tigers, they got to secure tower in the top lane, but they wasted 2 ultimates and they were targeting onto Blue. And as we've talked about a while ago, Blue is very tanky of a champion
Yep.
and not typically what you want to use your ultimates from. And you've forced him out already. You've zoned him out already. So what's the purpose of using your ultimates onto him? So I think that was a relatively bad move from Tigers, but overall, they got the good end, getting the turret into the top lane, and similarly, Warlocks did the same thing into the bot lane. So I think it was even level playing field, but Tigers, they should avoid wasting their ultimates on priority or not priority of a champion against Warlocks.
Yeah, especially right now that Tigers doesn't have a tower in the bot lane. They don't have any way to run to after this unless they want to go to the mid lane. This is gonna be easier for MCL Warlocks to go through because they have the benefit of their towers, and now the Drake is gonna be started by UST Tigers. Let's see if this is gonna be stolen by the members of MCL Warlocks. Tigers right now has the advantage. They have the better position. Sticking together right there would be good, especially that they have a lot of AoEs on their side. Right now, the Cyclone would be able to hit on 5 members right there. Very beautiful. Hero's Entrance would be able to disrupt the members of MCL Warlocks, and slowly they're falling. UST Tigers are crumbling down to Stellar's damage right now. So this is really crazy. Shotty forced to flash, and that is a 3 for 2 with the dragon being taken by Tigers.
Miss Chance did a great setup in that fight alone, and let's look at the ROG replay because that was just phenomenal coming in from that Wukong. He went in for the 5-man cyclone as you stated, and Warlocks after that they just came in and just dominated that fight against the enemy team. Tigers cannot do anything, and that is what I'm saying. Those important key ultimates are gonna be very important, in having Tigers focusing onto the dragon. Yes, they got the Infernal Drake, but at the cost of every single member. But regardless, I think with Tigers having 2 kills onto Warlocks was pretty clever, because right now the gold still even between these two teams.
Yeah, they have the Omnivamp, they have the increased damage on the side of Tigers. So far here, Infinity in the late game, that would be better for Tigers. I think MCL Warlocks need to try and take those objectives, because what I've seen, Poro was the one who was able to take that Infernal Drake, and not even the junglers was able to smite the dragon right there. So this should be really crucial, especially for the junglers. They need to use that smite sparingly and very smart. I mean, on the right timing. And right now, look at this Rift Herald being shown into the bot lane.
I mean, this is, I think, one of the strategies right now wherein you want to split the enemy team so that you can punish into the mid lane. And as you're seeing right now, Warlocks 3-2 setup we're into goes into the bot lane. They cannot do anything. So Tigers, I think, is doing more of the distribution of Warlocks, if you may call it like that, wherein they're distributing the enemy team, they're dividing them out power. But now
Chain of Corruption was able to hit, but that rocket jump, that Anchor was a bit late, just 2 or 1 second late right there, and Warlocks could be punished right here, because right now they don't have any key ultimates on their side, and Tigers should take note of that, and they should try and take the kills here.
Definitely, although Warlocks right now has ultimates onto Stellar, going to mid once again.
Okay, so they're still trying to get this. This team, this is kind of weird for me, Infinity. They don't try to actually go to the side lanes, try to get the split pushes on. They always try to get on fights because their team compositions are focused on going on for those fights because their ultimates are good. They have a lot of AoE, so this is gonna be good. Right now, we're gonna see a really fun match here, Infinity, because they have a lot of AoE or team fighting capabilities on these teams.
I mean, one throw from
but there you go, Infinity. There's a rocket jump, but a lot of damage from the solar flare. Cyclone was there to actually disrupt the Tigers, and the Hero's Entrance was there also. Assault and Battery going into the backline. Mistress would go down, and the members right here of MCL Warlock slowly falling down one by one. But Pineapple Crep would be able to get some damage, and Lazuli flashing in for the taunt, and 4 for 2 in favor of Tigers right now.
The Zuli, what was that? Flashing taunt against the enemy team to get the third kill, but that was amazing. Now let's look at the ROG replay wherein how Tigers won that team fight. I think the Chain of Corruption connected against the enemy team, but
Even
it
the
was
Encore
not
as well.
enough. It only connected onto one. It didn't follow through against the others, and as you stated, the Encore connected, but the rest of the team was just diving in. I think Lazuli was one of the champions, just diving in face front against Warlocks. risk tolerant against the enemy team. He was not afraid. And I think that is what won Tigers. Galio was just free hitting against the enemy team. And you're looking at the items right now.
What?
Roa, Rabadon Zedcap, Lich Bane from Galio. So if you let
He
that
has three
champion
items,
free hit
what?
you, you're just gonna get decimated from that raw damage coming in from Galio.
Imagine Galio being the assassin, the chunky boy assassin right there from Tigers. Having a lot of gold on this Galio would be very crucial. Right now, the hero's entrance, you need to be afraid, MCL, because if the hero's entrance get a hit on you, that would be massive damage from Lazuli right here. And I think Lazuli has the right mindset here. He's trying not to take this. He's trying to split push in the top lane. And Tigers here are just trying to bait out the members of MCL Warlocks because that range from Hero's entrance just really far. They can just go in anytime that they want to. So
Kaiser.
right now, Kaiser is now in a good position. He's very tanky. The Encore would be able to hit, and that is 3 members being hit by the Hero's entrance. And slowly right there, the Tigers are getting the upper hand on MCL Warlocks, and that is slowly an ace. Miss Chance trying to back away, but still, he's gonna fall down, and that is an ace for Tigers.
Now we're seeing the late game composition of UST Tigers, wherein, as we've stated into the draft, they have a late game power spike, and we're seeing it happen. I like how the hero's entrance connected to every single member of Warlocks, knocked up the enemy team. That just disabled the amount of damage that Warlocks can do in that specific team fight. And now,
no, they're gonna
Tigers went for the ace, now going for the Nexus.
Yeah, now they're gonna end. That is really crucial from Tigers. Slowly, hindi naman ako nakita ng much difference from MCL and UST. They played on to their win conditions, but in the end, the members of Tigers was able to actually hold it off until the part where their damage is gonna be skyrocketing right there. And that is just right here. Look at Lazuli. He has 0 deaths. Even though that he's on almost all of the fights, he was able to get a hero's entrance, able to get the members that he can. And that is a really strong guy right there, Infinity.
Here's the thing. Tigers, late game composition. To add on to that one, we should not forget, they've got the Ocean Drake. They got the Infernal Drake. So that synergizes with the late game composition from them. You have Tristana having the damage already, you have Galio having the damage already, and having that 6% damage bonus from that Infernal Drake and having an Omnivamp wouldn't really be able to bring down Tigers at that point, because Tristana just jumping all around. Galio went in for the hero's entrance, taunt the enemy team. You're basically finished. You're basically done for in that specific team fight. And I like to commend though how MCL played that out, because Warlocks got the early 3 kills, but not at the point wherein they're dominating the early game. Because in the first 5 minutes, in the first 8 minutes of the matchup, they're pretty much even when it comes to the gold. I mean, the difference was just like 500. And Tigers, when it comes to like the 8-minute, 9-minute, that is where they power spiked. And the gold lead was just continuously, exponentially growing for UST.
I think everything changed in Infinity on those last 2 fights. Because sabi mo nga kanina, they were equal on almost all of the parts of the game. And yung late game lang talaga sila nagkaroon ng pagkakaiba. And this is good. MCL Warlocks have the good mindset. Sana lang on this next game, they don't falter. Their mental should be always okay. Because they can still try to get on a tie with Tigers right here. But Tigers, I'm loving the energy. Because last week nga, yung pabalik-balik ko sinasabi, last week they had a slump and now they're slowly regaining their momentum. And now we're gonna go to our second game of Tigers and Warlocks. Diana being the first one, not so surprising right there, Infinity.
Yeah, Diana, we talked about it a while ago. Diana is very strong as an individual champion. You can put it in mid lane. You can put it even in the Dragon lane. And that is what we saw in the past tournament in League of Legends Wild Rift. And that is where 1-1-2-1 happened. So I think Diana is just flexible. And on top of that, very, very strong individually to deal massive amounts of damage. And also Moonfall is just so big. I mean, there are a lot of champions that can initiate team fights. But Diana can come through. Moonfall, 5-man knockup, it's done.
Yeah, and what's good here, when you ban a Diana first, at least you take off one big threat. Especially for those team fights, Diana is a really, really big threat if you don't look at those moonfalls. I mean, look at the Wild Rift screen. When you see the moonfall, it's really big. You can't get away if he actually lunar rushes in. So that is really crazy. And sobrang dali lagyan ng combo nung Moonfall ni Diana. Kaya lalo na sa mga meta champions na nakita natin sa UAC, they could actually be rack up. For example, a J4 that is usually an unorthodox pick for the junglers, or a Galio even that actually come up with the Diana. But here, they're banning the Gragas again. They don't want that flex Gragas talaga.
Mm-hmm. I think this is understandable, but I do believe that there is a more potential for a Gragas to be banned away by UST instead, rather than having the Gragas to be banned away by MCL. Because if you're looking at it, Camille is actually quite open, and I think
Yep.
that's one of the more priorities to go for the first side selection, especially if it's open for Teletigers. So I think Warlocks needs to ban it out if ever the Teletigers wouldn't. Because right now there are
Hmm.
still a lot of tournament power picks that could show up. Ziggs, very strong individual champion. Galio, very, very strong as well as an individual champion. The Braum as a support, very strong as well. So who is gonna show up in this draft today from Teletigers and Warlocks is gonna be the question right now for these two teams. And also the understatement here is, what do you want to build up? Do you want a diver composition?
Yep.
Do you want a 4-1 composition? Or do you want a poking composition? Because that will depend on what your bans will be.
Yeah, it's really really crucial, especially right now for UAC teams, no, ano, Infinity, is that they need to be cohesive when they're picking on those champions. Because if they are not cohesive with that and hindi sila nasa same page when it comes to their, siguro sa League PC it would work, but in Wild Rift it wouldn't, because the in how you win in Wild Rift is based on how you team fight, and how you team fight is based on your draft, and that is very crucial. Because right now Akali has been banned. They've seen the threat that Stellar could be with this Akali, so they needed to ban that Akali for Stellar.
Yeah, and as you've mentioned, it's all fast paced. It's depending on the 5v5. Wild
Mhm.
Rift is a fast paced League of Legends, and the
Yep.
Rift is just happening very quickly. Time span happens in 15 minutes to 20 minutes at the very least in average. So I think it's basically onto the early mid game type of power spike wherein you have a lot
Yep.
of potential, or even having the big 5v5 type of team composition that could dominate team fights overall and can punish against the enemy team, that you know you're confident when you're coming through, you go all in and win those. I think Wukong coming in from Warlock's available a
Ooh.
while ago rather was
Yep.
phenomenal. Pineapple Crep was just going big. I mean, Miss Chance was just going big from that Wukong jungle, having that 5-man cyclones, and I want to see that happen once again, but with a different type of composition. I think Surfing mid lane is, yes, very good still, but you need to go for the damage output.
Yep.
Similarly, Teletigers does need to go for the same way on what they did a while ago. They went for the late game power spike. They waited
Yep.
patiently against the enemy team. They didn't go for the overextension often, and therefore having them the advantage in terms of the late game team fight. So I think you need to know what your power spike would be in terms of facing the game, and respect the enemy team and play towards it.
Yeah, what's weird for me there, Infinity, is that even though that Teletigers was gonna have a hard time in the early game, as we said a while ago, is that they were able to get the objectives, and that's crucial. Yun yung nagpa-akyat sa kanila dun eh. Kaya sila nanalo during those that game. Kasi late game with some good dragons, that is crucial. That would be very big and would help your fighting potential as a team. And right now, Kaiser has a chance here. He can pick up, yeah, that Galio can again be picked up, kasi nga naman, we know Galio can be flexed to the mid and support role.
But that leaves Camille open for works to
Right.
now pick up. Garen also very viable right now. Can go for the silence, can go for the damation justice. The damage output of a Garen is phenomenal. But I'm expecting maybe the jungle to maybe be Camille potentially. And now I think Seraphine now being locked
Oh,
in
that's
is
good.
favorable to go for Camille.
Mhm. And Ziggs is open also if they want to actually take it on the side of Teletigers. But right now, this Camille could be a good flex for the members of Warlocks. They are not giving much info on what team comp they want for on this second pick. So right now, Teletigers should need to be cohesive. They picked up that Wukong from Miss Chance. Kanina, si Miss Chance has that Wukong. And now, Teletigers is still going back to the roots. Yung kaninang picks nila, it's still the same. The only thing that changed was this Wukong and would be better than the Vi a while ago. Because now this Wukong could just disrupt with those Cyclones and with the Hero's entrance with the safety. And there you go. Stellar going in for that Annie Infinity.
I'm excited. I'm excited. You saw my face a while ago when
Yeah.
Annie showed up. It was amazing. And this
Yeah.
is what we were expecting a while ago. We talked
Yeah.
about what we would expect in terms of the draft, and now Annie comes through. Corky now comes through. And this is very interesting, but I think Annie is looking to match against Teletigers. Having Garen, having Galio, having Wukong.
Oh
I think
no.
the close range melee
Wow.
stunts coming in from Annie would be great. But Teletigers, you know what? We saw an Annie from Warlocks. We see a various Lux from
Mm-hmm.
Teletigers right now.
Oh
So
no.
right, it's pretty much just a fest of champions being locked in.
Yeah, it's just a lot of CCs that I'm seeing from the side of Teletigers. And when the clash happens, it would be very hard for Warlocks to actually fight this out. So they need to position really well. And a crucial Tibbers ultimate from Stellar would be the key here. Because if they get the CC for 60 from Annie and from Seraphine of Nekomimi, this would be really good. But I think based on the draft here, Infinity, I think I'm favoring the side of Teletigers because they have more on their hands. They have a lot of grenades on their pockets right now.
Yeah, but that pocket picks, the utilities, the range composition coming from Warlocks is gonna be amazing, and
Mm-hmm.
Teletigers as well. Pretty much, I think right now it's mystery for these two
Mm-hmm.
teams because Warlocks having that Annie, having that Seraphine, having the Corky, pretty much it's just so mysterious on what they could potentially do. And I think what they want to do, having that Singe already locked in onto Blue, is that
Mm-hmm.
Blue can just go for the knock up and let Annie go for the stun after. Then Seraphine can just go root. Then the rest will follow through. I think the Wombo combo for Teletigers is very prominent as we see right now from their composition. And similarly, Warlocks has the same potential, but with a different approach. We
Yep.
have Chaos to come in for the 5-man Cyclone potentially, or 3-man Cyclone, whatever that may be. Then Lazuri comes through with a Hero's Entrance. Kaiser can follow up as well to go for the Silence and the Mission Justice. So, different approach. Warlock's going in for more of the skirmish, going in for the gank with a 5v5 type of team fight. And Tiger's going all in 100% commitment.
Yeah, and yun nga, this is the difference of their play styles right here, Infinity. Because right now, if Tigers would have the chance, because right now they have the momentum, they should be holding on to this momentum and try to actually dominate MCL Warlocks here. Because MCL Warlocks, I wish that their mentality hasn't been shaken by that first loss, because I know these players, MCL is a good organization and they know how to play some good League of Legends. They're not frazzled from loses, especially on a series like this. But right now, it's kind of looking slow for both of these junglers, because from what I'm seeing, Infinity, these junglers would not see each other for the scuttler and would have a good time on taking those rift scuttlers.
20 seconds remaining for the Rift Cutters to come up. And I do believe they're going to take it one for one.
Yep,
I do
for
believe
sure.
that they're not going for an early aggression, having their composition in terms of the mid-game type of power spike. I mean, Camille is not the best jungle to go for clear.
Yep.
Wukong, similarly, not the same way. It's not that great when it comes to the clearing potential as well. So
Mhm.
I think right now, they're just going in for a safe play. And even then, Warlocks went in for the 3-man roam to just secure the Rift Scutter, and that's just a statement that Warlocks wants to make. We're in Teletigers. No. You can't just punish us very easily. We're gonna take it very securely. And right now, they got the information bot lane.
Yeah, and this is what's good right here. Look at the Pineapple Crep, super low in HP, but the arrow almost getting that kill. A good thing that Pineapple Crep popped that barrier. If not, that is an easy first blood for Teletigers.
Definitely. So I do believe just the amount of pressure coming from Shoddy. In the patch 2.2a, 2.2b, I'm not really that sure on when specifically Shoddy was buffed up, or Varus was buffed up, because Shoddy is a player, Varus is a
Yeah.
champion. Varus was buffed up. You can
Yep.
just spam his arrows right now and just deal massive amounts of damage. So I think that is what Teletigers is utilizing against Warlocks, considering that Pineapple Crep onto the Corki doesn't really have the best range ever, especially pre-level 5, wherein Missile Barrage is not still available. So I think Teletigers pressuring that one is very good and very ideal for their team in the first 3 minutes of the game.
And yes, yung sinabi mo nga rin kanina, Infinity, Pineapple Crep would have a hard time in the early game because we all know, even in League PC, Corki is a super late game champion. And if he gets onto the late game, they need to look at that win condition right here. If he gets into the late game, he has a lot of damage. He has that good magic damage on their side. So that is crucial that they need to look out for here. Pero from what I'm seeing right now, bot lane having a hard time. Chain of Corruption being used right there. Shotty trying to get some damage on. Still not enough to actually get the kill. Mischance is here on the backside using the Hextech Ultimatum on Shotty. And Shotty's now the target right now. Encore would be able to hit on 2 members. And that is good because right now, MCL Warlocks are on fire. But they would not be able to get the kill because right here, Chaos would get the Cyclone. And that is Teletigers getting the first blood turn around against Warlocks.
Amazing response coming in from Chaos. And now let's take a step back on what just happened right there in the ROG replay. I think Mischance did a good job into the bottom lane with the Hextech Ultimatum and Encore as well. But they overextended. Like, I think Mischance was just diving in where their enemy team or his teammates was just too far ahead to go for the quick responses. And at that point in time, I think Valkyrie was already not available from Pineapple Crep because he used it to avoid the Chain of Corruption. So Pineapple Crep does not have the capabilities to just jump into the fight, wherein Mischance was already diving into the champion, and then therefore have the opportunity for Chaos to dive in.
Tivers right there would be able to just kill Poro, and that is what I want to see from MCL Warlocks, having Stellar right here trying to take the advantage, trying to get those stuns that he needs. So now they have an advantageous position on this Ocean Drake.
Now Timber's summoned up. 5v1 right now.
Look at this, Lazuli right now has been a trap right here. And now Lazuli needs to back away, but would he be able to? Whoa, he would be able to, and MCL Warlocks would have the advantageous position right now on this Ocean Drake, and that is a good hold coming right here. The CP is coming in, but the Ocean Drake has been taken by the members of MCL Warlocks. They're slowly falling one by one. They just need to back away from this 3-4-0 as of now, and the advantage still, I think Teletigers would have it.
It's just too much from Teletigers right now. They got the tower for his blood, and yes, they've lost the Ocean Drake, but now they have a lot of gold lead.
Chaos going in right there. He has the GA though, so he might fall down from this. But there's the heal coming in from Shotty, going in right there with the Chain of Corruption. Would be able to get the kill, and that is 1 kill advantage for for Teletigers and Warlocks.
He overextended at that point. I think Shotty was just overconfident in that matchup. He just dived in under the turret. He went for the Chain of Corruption against the enemy team, which wasn't really that ideal because the rest of the team was under the turret trying to bring it down. The minion waves was already clearing out, so Teletigers wasn't really able to capitalize on what they have left, and Shotty was just diving in. No teammates can therefore go for the support and go for the spawns, and that just gave a free kill onto the side of Warlocks.
Right now, Teletigers, their backs are against the wall, and they need to be smarter on the uptake, especially from taking these objectives right now. They need to be very macro, and also communication is key for MCL here because they have a lot of good ultimates. They have the package on Pineapple Crep here, but I think this should be given to the members of Teletigers because Stellar is not in any way around here. The Light Binding would be able to get the hit. Encore would be used right there. Blue team would be able to get the Rift Herald, and the members of Teletigers are now backing away. This is good because they know when to back away. They got the Rift Herald, and they are just gonna run with it around.
Discipline is Teletigers' main key here, but Kaiser
is still in a bad position. Was getting that Dimash on Justice, but that is very cheeky for him because right now Warlocks gets a kill of their own.
And they've got a turret into the bot lane, and that is something that Tele Tigers is known for. They're going in for the discipline, and at the same time, they make sure that they need to go for those trades. They need to have something in return when it comes to every single team fight that they have. So right now, Tele Tigers, great job, but Warlocks is now onto the fringe edge because Rift Herald now summoned mid.
Okay, summon mid, most likely gonna take down that mid lane turret, and now the Hextech ultimatum has been used on the clone, and that's not good because the Hero's Entrance would be able to get one member, and that is Chaos on the back line, would be able to get the Cyclone and 4 members, and that is good. Chain of Corruption right there, would be able to hit, and that is Lazuli just in face of everyone. Stellar would be taunted, and Pineapple Crab falls down, and the next target would be the Singe, and that is a triple kill coming in from Shotty.
Now, it's gonna be the tier 2 turret now being brought down by Tele Tigers. Not gonna be successful, but they got 2 turret plates out of it. Now, let's look at the ROG replay, wherein Lazuli made a good hero's entrance. It was a 3-man knockup, and at that point in time, Warlocks wasn't really able to come in and bring that fight into a prolonger state because they were down half HP, because how Lazuli just jumped in, 3-man knock up, the rest of the team was just poking against the enemy team, and Roa double large Raj, something that can deal massive amounts of damage. So I think Warlocks needs to respect how Tele Tigers is building their items right now, especially onto Galio, because Galio just jumps in out from nowhere. That just surprises Warlocks time and time again.
Yeah, and I think top lane, as someone is getting pummeled right there. Kaiser against 3 members. And I'm looking at this, and that is just a dead Kaiser in the top lane. I think from what I'm seeing right here, Infinity, the members of MCL are trying to allocate resources on those people na actually very crucial na kailangan nilang patayin talaga kasi they need to get those shutdown goals on those people. But getting the kill on Kaiser here would just punish them. And that is just a free Mountain Drake for the members of Tele Tigers.
Now, Tele Tigers gets it easy. No contest coming in for the side of Warlocks, but you know what? Warlocks going in for the mid lane, got the mid turret. And I think that's going to be the priority aspect of this matchup. It's the risk-benefit type of weighing it out on what's going to be better. And I think Warlocks did a better play in the mid lane because they made it even when it comes to the map control against Tele Tigers, getting the tier 1 turret into the mid lane. So the jungle still going to be even for these two teams. And Stellar just made a stellar play getting that turret.
And yes, that is good from Warlocks right now, trying to get everything that they can with what they have, because Tele Tigers, very methodical team. They know when to take the objectives and how they would be taking it. If they sacrifice one, they take something from you again. MCL Warlocks, they need to be reactive on this, or maybe just a bit proactive, because they have an Annie that could start fights anytime that they want. And if they do, they should just give Pineapple Crep some time here, because slowly Pineapple Crep is building on those items that he needs. He has the package though, so he might be able. Chain of Corruption has been used, but still they are focusing on Chaos here. Encore would be able to hit Hero's Entrance right there. That is crucial. Tiger Lazuli would be backing away. Pineapple Crep is now the target, and Mischance would be the next one. Echo Mimi right here would just fall down, and that is a flying Mischance, but will be get it by Shotty. But that is 1 HP literally by Camille, and no members from Tele Tigers are falling down, and this is just Shotty getting the 1v1 on blue, but Baron would be free for Tele Tigers right here.
I love it. I love what's happening right now. Warlock just jumps in into that team fight, trying to secure those kills, trying to secure the objective, which is going to be the champions of Tele Tigers. But Tele Tigers needs no that's for the TP coming in from Kaiser, and Kaiser just silence down the enemy team, just go for the Dimension Justice served. And that just gave them kills and numbers advantage. And at that point, Shotty was there to clean up onto the hill, just deal massive amounts of damage onto Warlocks, and having those 2 to 3 kills already. Tele Tigers just got a free Baron Nashor after that. So phenomenal play from UST.
Yeah, man. I think Infinity here on this game, it says a lot if an ADC goes in actually. Like, he goes into the front line. That says a lot. That says that they have the advantage. Shotty a while ago, he went in against I think that was Stellar was the target of Shotty a while ago. He went in with the Chain of Corruption and just dealt so much damage, even without any front line. So this is good coming in. Mid lane, gonna fall down. And that is just more pressure on the side of Warlocks. They are slowly getting eaten by Teletigers here.
Yeah, and Teletigers just utilizing the Baron Nashor, going for the pressure into the top lane, into the mid lane, and even into Dragon lane. And they're just being very comfortable up against Warlocks, forcing out the split manpower of MCL. And now Blue going in for the front lines. But
Ooh,
up
Blue.
and back away. They're respecting Teletigers with the amount of advantage. It's not looking that favorable for them.
Yeah, that's 13k Goldie. They need to respect that fully on the side of Teletigers because right now Red Team would be able to get the kill on Shawty right here. That's crucial for the members of Warlocks. They need to actually use this to their advantage. They can now take down most of the members because they're one member short. And this is MCL trying, as I said though, and Mischance almost getting the kill on Chaos. That is good. Warlocks still on this game, slowly trying to get on Teletigers.
Though Teletigers,
Was
even
able
though
to get
Shotty
this.
got killed by
Yeah.
Warlock, Stellar got killed as well. It's a 1-for-1, and on top of all that, they got the inhibitor turret into the Baron lane. So Teletigers got the good end of that trade there. They're utilizing their Baron buff off the roofs. They got all the tier 2 turrets. They got the inhibitor turret. In terms of the gold lead, still 13k gold. And now MCL Warlocks has to defend onto the natural lane pressure that the inhibitor turret secured of Teletigers have provided them. So now Super Minions now marching in the top side. Cloudbreak, free objective for UST.
Again, they get this Cloud Drake Infinity, and if you have a good engaged composition, that would just be very good because right now they can just run in very fast against Warlocks and they wouldn't even be able to react. And having this, look at this, Lazuli going on to that jungle because the members of Warlocks don't even have towers anymore. They can just take any resources that Warlocks are trying to get here.
Definitely. I mean, the resources of Warlocks are now very scarce. And they need to be resourceful. They need to think of an unconventional way to bring back and make a factory of resources happen for them. And I think
Right.
that's in the form onto the jungle camp that they have readily available for them. But at the very least, even then, Teletigers is jungle
taking them
invading those camps. So Warlocks is just on the edge of a table wherein they need to balance it out and bring it back into the middle of the table.
Yeah, they're taking all of those every resources that Warlocks has, and now Teletigers, now that they have vision on the top side of the jungle, they now can take this Baron with no contest. I mean, they have contest, but that's just 3 members. Not much can do right there because right here, they're still trying. Stellar still has that ultimate. It could be very crucial here, but the bot lane though, I think it's gonna be taken by the creeps there. So this is just gonna be will we take the Baron or will we take everything? That's just a question here because Cyclone would be able to hit on 4 members in the back line, and now Encore would be able to hit on a crucial member. Shawty being taken down right here would fall down, but most of the members of Warlocks are slowly crumbling down because they're super low in HP. 3 members down, and the Neko Mimi and Blue trying to back away. Never mind, that's just Neko Mimi backing away and left to defend her own base.
Now, Garen, you know what? We are confident. He just jumps in onto the Nexus, goes for the corgi, but emote and sticker against the enemy team to just taunt him. But now it's gonna be the Nexus locking in from Teletigers.
Teletigers are really good right now. They have the momentum during this week, and I love what I'm seeing from them. The momentum, the methodical plays. They're very disciplined as a team, and they're like playing out of their minds right now because the champions, the drafting, they always have those cohesive champions on their pool.
What an amazing game! What an amazing series that was, Dash.
Yeah.
We're expecting untraditional picks. We
Yep.
saw it happen, and
Yeah.
I just love it. Even though if Warlocks lost, they utilized their draft, I think, relatively well, wherein Annie was just there jumping in to try and set up a play. I mean, he was able to bring down Shotty time and time again. I think that was a couple of times when it comes to the late game. So I think he did a very good job. I think Tibbers was just being summoned to go for the 5-on-3, 2 or 1-man stun against the enemy team, but at the cost of having another thing happen for themselves as well. So I think Teletigers, you know what, the early game, they utilized it very well. They keep on punishing against the enemy team. I mean, into the mid lane, they forced out how the spells are being an advantage for them. So phenomenal for Teletigers. UST, great job from that series, beating down Warlocks in a 2-0.
Yeah, and I love how methodical they are. But also, guys, we would like to thank our sponsors for UAC 2021, powered by Globe Telecom, our official telco sponsor, ASUS ROG Phone 5, our presenting sponsor, Logitech G, our gear partner, Riot Games, our publishing partner, and Twitch Student, our platform partner. And that was the game from Teletigers and Warlocks 2-0. Very clean, no Infinity. We have nothing to say, right? That was very clean. And we have been your shoutcasters for today's matches. And this is Dash, and I was here with Infinity. See you guys next week for more UAC action in the Rift.